Welcome to Country Caribou Lifestyle. My name is Cheryl, and I did a previous video about getting my beds ready, and what I'm doing is I'm starting to direct sow some of my seeds. Now it's 5 weeks before my last frost, and my last frost is June the 2nd. And these are some of the vegetable seeds that you can direct sow into your garden right now. You can get things ready and start sowing. So before I even started sowing any of my seeds, I put on 2 inches of compost on top of all my beds, raised beds. Well, on top of all of them except for I have 2 beds over there, and they have a fall and winter cover crop on them. I still have to put the portable chicken coop on top of it, but Jamie's out of town this weekend. He actually comes home tonight, and I started a video and I talked about everything that I had been planting. I was showing you what some of the stuff that I had been planting, and when I transferred my videos onto my computer, I didn't realize it hadn't transferred all my videos onto the computer, and then I deleted all the videos off of my camera, and then I realized I had deleted the beginning, the introduction of my videos, so I'm having to do this over again. So I'm gonna tell you the list of vegetables that you can direct sow 5 weeks before your last frost. And they are asparagus, beets, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, cabbage, carrots, cauliflower, celery, garlic, kale, kohlrabi, leeks, lettuce, onions, parsnips, peas, potatoes, radishes, rutabagas, spinach, Swiss chard, and turnips. So over in this bed behind me, I actually had planted, I have lettuce in this bed, and I also have spinach. And up against the panel in the back, I planted my snap peas so that they could grow up this panel, and then I easily can pick them. Half a row of red romaine, and then I have the other half of the row is the Marvel of 4 Seasons lettuce. In front of that, that is where I have 2 different kinds of spinach. I have a countryside baby spinach, and then I have a red kitten spinach, and those are seeds that I had received from my sister. I've put those on this bed. On this other bed over here, so in this bed I have put some Detroit golden beets, where you see the paper tag there, and then where the pink tag is, I went and planted some, what kind are these? Baby beets. And these baby beets are going to be ready in 60 days. So that's pretty awesome. Under this board, I have planted my Denver half-long carrots. And I planted the seeds in it, and then I covered them up. I watered everything, and I've put this board on top of the carrots so that it'll keep that moisture in there, and it'll help with the germination of those seeds. So every couple of days I'm going to lift up that board, and I'm going to look at to see where they're at, and once they have sprouted, then I will remove that board. In this back bed, this is my asparagus. So soon I'm going to start seeing little sprouts of asparagus poking through the ground, and I've put 2 inches of compost over all of these beds. So in this bed, I have planted a little crunch snap peas, and they're only going to get about 2 to 3 feet high, and I actually have a metal frame that I'm going to put up here. It's like a little metal fence. Once they've sprouted, I will set up this metal fence. Where these T-posts are, we're going to have our cattle panel coming up, and I'm going to be, once it gets warmer, I can't plant beans right now, but I can plant peas. Once it gets warmer, I'm going to plant some of my pole beans, and they will climb up the cattle panel, and that's what I have going on over on this side. Now I'll let you get back to the remainder of my video, the part where I cut off. It will continue on from here. So I went in, had a little bit of lunch. Now I'm back out here. Got a little bit more filtered sun now, not quite as bright. It's about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So this is kind of what ends up happening. The sun gets behind the trees. It's not quite as high up as it is in the middle of summer. So I'm continuing on now. On this side of these T-posts, I planted that, what was it called? It was the something crunch snap peas on that side. On this side, this panel is going to go up and over. On the underneath side of the panel, I'm going to be planting kohlrabi, and I'm also going to be planting some goldfinger carrots. These carrots mature in 49 days, so it's shorter variety, shorter season variety, which is good. I got these seeds again from my sister to try. So I've never tried these type of carrots before. I'm going to plant the kohlrabi first, and the kohlrabi, I am spacing the seeds 1 inch apart right now, and then when they come up, I will space the plants 4 inches apart. And I planted this kohlrabi last year, and it turned out really good. This is called the early white kohlrabi, and this variety matures, it takes 60 to 65 days for this one to mature, so that's not too bad when you get to plant it early. And it doesn't seem too bad. And now these are pelleted seed. This one was a white, the other one was kind of like a teal green color. And this one is pelleted with a white pellet, and they're very round. They almost look like little decorative balls that you would use for decorating cupcakes or cookies. I got one here that's, might as well take it because it's sitting right at the top. It's actually stuck. Can't get it. There we go. So I will, it's going to be a little bit easier to see exactly where I'm planting these carrots, so it shouldn't be hard to space them out 1 inch apart, with them being such a large pelleted coating on the seed. Makes it actually quite nice to plant them. I just can't believe how absolutely beautiful it is out here. And this is what I like about having the raised beds, is because I can just sit on the edge. It's not hard on my back, not hard on my knees. This is this one's only an 18-inch high raised bed, whereas my other ones are almost 3 feet high. And again, they're nice just to be able to sit on it. Jamie made me put in a 6-foot wide frame around it, so it makes it really nice to be able to sit on. And I'll just cover these up. I was finding hoses, so I found a hose, hooked it up, and right where it connects to the spigot, it was spraying water out all over the place. So I was like, well, that one's no good. On this other bed next to me, I'm gonna look at my chart and see what I've wrote here. I think it is, on the inside we're doing Swiss chard and radishes. And I've got my Swiss chard and my radishes. And I do the Bright Lights Swiss chard. It's a multicolored Swiss chard. And I am gonna put the Swiss chard on the closest to the T-posts on the inside, because it's gonna take them longer to mature. So I will put them, I'm just gonna take a look and see what, these take 60 days to mature and radishes take half that time. So I will plant the Swiss chard, and I'm just gonna do a half a row of Swiss chard, and then the other half of the row, I'm actually gonna plant another variety of spinach. So we'll get my hoe, because I don't really need a full row of Swiss chard, but we eat a lot of spinach. So let me get my row put in here, and then I'll move the camera over, and then I'm going to do my other row for my radishes. And again, my row of radishes, it won't be one variety. I'm going to actually put in 3 varieties in the one row. I just got to move my book. I'll put the Swiss chard on the inside, and I'm pretty sure I have a tag for that. There it is. And I have a tag for the spinach as well. I actually just came across it. So I will put that at the halfway mark, and then the rest of that row will be spinach. So let's plant the Bright Lights Swiss chard. The seeds are very similar to beet seeds, and I'm spacing these seeds 1 inch apart. And then once the plants get established, then I'm going to space the plants will be 10 inches apart once they get growing. The pigs really like the Swiss chard as well. So I feed I mean, we eat it, but I feed a lot of it to the pigs too. And I just don't need a full row of Swiss chard. There we go. Okay. And then I'll get my the spinach. Where is that? I just seen it. There it is. And this is a larger leaf spinach, the Bloomsdale. And it's a heritage variety as well. just spacing my seeds 1 inch apart, and then I'll thin it out. Oh, what are you supposed to thin these out to? 5 inches in between. So once they get established, oops, dropped a bunch in one spot. There we go. I still have lots. So I'll put the spinach back in over here with my lettuce. Oops. And my Swiss chard goes back in this one. And then we'll figure out which radishes we're gonna plant. I know, let's look at what tags I have. That'll be my deciding factor of what kind of spinach I plant. So let's take a look. Oh, here we've got French breakfast, that's a good kind. Early scarlet and sparkled tip. Let's see if I have those. French breakfast, early scarlet, and the sparkler white tip. Okay. Oh, I've even got some, these must have been from my sister, some watermelon radish. So that'll go in another. I have watermelon radish, China rose, and she gave me a cherry bell as well. So I'm starting with the sparkler white tip. And then I will do the French breakfast. So if I'm going to do a third, let's go to here. And that'll be a third. And then the sparkler white tip will be right there. I've got some large size sticks in here. This is out of my compost. Okay, so these are going to be spaced 1 inch apart. And radishes grow so fast that it just, within no time, you'll see sprouts emerging from the ground. But and I've got a pine cone in here. Just move that over. There. Okay, so there's that one. And then the French breakfast. I really like that. That's probably my favorite. But I've never tried the watermelon radish, so I think that one is going to be a fun one to do. So this is the French breakfast. I did radishes over on the back bed where my asparagus is, and they didn't like that spot at all last year. So I know not to plant those there. I don't know what it is about it, but they didn't like it. And now the early scarlet radish. It'll be in the last section of this row. I see a half of a seed. I wonder if those actually take sprout when it's only a half of a seed. I don't know if it does or not. Okay, let's cover this up. This compost is sure nice. We have so much of it, which is great because I have a lot of plans for this compost around my plants. Okay, that's it for the radishes. And that, oh, I gotta cover up my Swiss chard seeds and my Bloomsdale spinach. And then I will, when I'm done planting all of this, then I'll go and water it after the fact. The other side of this arbor cattle panel, and I am going to be planting, got some garbage ended up in my compost. I'm going to be planting in the front is going to be this new salad turnip, hikuri. And I'm going to be planting that in the front, and in the back I'm going to be planting this watermelon radish. I've only got a few seeds of the watermelon radish, so I'm going to plant it first and see how far I get to, and then I'll plant the hikuri salad turnip up to that. So I'll plant this watermelon radish first. I'm going to space my seeds out an inch apart. I might get a half a row. There. So that's where that begins. I will cover this up. Cover these seeds up. And then in front of that, it will be the hikuri salad turnip. And you can eat this raw or you can eat it roasted. Either way, I think I've never heard of this before. And my sister actually said she bought it too. So that's funny that she lives in Saskatchewan and I live here in British Columbia, and we both ordered the exact same seeds. We thought that it was an interesting variety and we wanted to try it out. I need a few more seeds here to finish this row off. They give you 100 seeds in the pack, and I actually gave 20 seeds to a friend. So I still have some seeds, and I got more than probably 2/3 of the row planted. So fun, and can't wait to try those and see what they're like. And I'll put them back in with I put them in with my radishes just because it kind of reminds me of a type of a radish. And let's move on. Oh, I should cover these up. And then I'm going to have to, after I plant this next little bit here, then I'm going to have to find a couple of boards to cover my carrots with. So I'm going to be planting Chinese toi choy. This, I actually saved this variety of seeds because I haven't been able to find that type of seed, and I really enjoy it. It kind of reminds me of a radish as far as the amount of time that it takes to mature. It only takes about 3 to 4 weeks to mature to the point where you're able, it's just, the Chinese toi choy is like a baby bok choy, and I really enjoy it. Ends up maturing quite fast, so you need to pick it when it is matured, and then I will plant seeds when it's almost ready to pick. I will plant more seeds in another spot so then I can have more of it. So planting the Chinese toi choy, I am spacing the seeds out about 1 inch, and then once they sprout, I am going to, let me see what I thin them to. I plant them 1 inch and then I thin them to 18 inches, which isn't a lot in between each. I don't think I thinned it out that much last year. I think I thinned it out to only like 6 inches in between, and that was plenty enough spacing for that. So there, I've got that one. Well, that was easy. Didn't take long at all. These rows already set up. So I am going to plant my beets first. And I think I have a tag for cylinder beets. So my cylinder beets are right there. And then I think I'm going to do the bull's blood beets. I did these last year and they were all right. I didn't not like them, although I love beets, so it's pretty hard for a beet to go wrong in my eyes. Okay, so these I'm gonna space. These are the cylinder beets, spacing them out an inch. Oh, I dropped like 3 in one spot. Let's take at least one of those out and move it to a different spot. And then once they get established, then you want them to be about 2 to 3 inches spacing of the plants so that they have a chance to develop and mature. And I love beets, so I actually love doing quite a few different varieties because I like them boiled, I like them roasted, I like them with beet pickles, I like them cooked and then cooled, and either you can shred them or you can chop them up and put them into a salad, like same as I would do with the golden beets as well. Roasted. Beets are pretty a versatile vegetable in my eyes. Okay, let's do the bull's blood beet. There we go. We can plant those. I haven't seen my dog around in a little while. She was playing with the cat, but I don't see the cat either. So, good thing we're almost finished. I think when we went in for lunch, she laid down and just crashed. But she was ready to go when it was time to come back outside again. It was enough. But she was like raring to go. I gave my pigs some water and gave them snacks. We had some lettuce that was old, a head of lettuce. And so I ended up just chopping that up and giving that to my little piggies. Along with, I had some old cauliflower in the fridge. And I chopped that up and gave them that too. That's the good thing about pigs and chickens. They're not that fussy about that kind of stuff. Okay, almost finished. Okay, I'll cover this up. And I'll cover this other row of my cylinder beets. And then once we get a panel on here, then on the panel, I'm going to be growing tomatoes. But I need Jamie's help for that. Okay, and we are going to be growing or planting the carrots over on this side. Nancy Corliss found my dog. Little turd. she didn't want to come when I was calling her, so then I was all freaked out. I seen a truck stop by the side of the road, and I was like, great. What's going on up there? But she wasn't up there, thank goodness. I don't want her going up to the road. My dog is in heat, so I gotta keep an eye on her. That's all I need is for somebody, some other Heinz 57 dog mating up with my dog. She's a Shih Tzu Maltese, hypoallergenic, and I wanted that variety with the Shih Tzu and the Maltese because my youngest son and my husband both have allergies. So it's nice, even though we babysit Cole and he is Alaska Malamute. Furthest thing from being hypoallergenic, he's losing his winter coat. He has been for a while. And it was just this morning I noticed that Callie was in heat. So, okay, we are done for today. I'm just going to water these rows, find some boards to put over my rows of carrots, and then we'll carry on tomorrow.